market gets consumed with Petey, whether he's producing or not.
Sure.
You had a chat with him before practice today. Well,
No, he was actually.
just asking you.
He was just he had some talking about some stuff on the ice about a little bit of power play, some strategy wise. I love when he does that. He doesn't do it very often, but that was big that he came out. Yeah, just some strategy stuff. Yeah, really good. I thought it was a really good practice too. After the quick turnaround from that, it's kind of an emotional game. So as a coach, you always look at these practices, and I thought it was really well run by the players. Did a nice job.
How important is the practice time you're going to get here a little bit over the next week or so?
Yeah, for us, like angling drills, we paid attention to, like our 2-on-1s, both ways. Things that we want to get better at. I think that's what we concentrate on today. A little bit of teamwork, but more the individual skill stuff that we get some guys that get some more touches with pucks, in certain situations. So I'm a firm believer that, like, practice, obviously, every coach wants practice, but, this is a good timing to have a good practice.
You get a power play goal in overtime last night. I know it's not a traditional 5-on-4 power play goal, but is that something those guys can draw confidence from going forward, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everybody knows we're a little tight, and we just got to be able to handle the pressure, and power plays are just one or two plays, and then you attack. Those are the best way to get out of it. And then when you get a couple goals, the other stuff seems to open up. You start to get looser, your hands get looser. I think, I just like to see a little more aggressiveness with beating pressure and take it to the net. And I think, what did we do on the I know it was a 4-on-3, but won the face-off, or I don't, did we win the face-off? I can't remember, but all I know is we went downhill. Millsy either shot it or went to the back door. Petey's open if they overplay something. So there was just a lot of aggressive mindset on that goal.
Right, were Tyler Myers' minutes part of your rationale with playing him this year? He's usually over 20. He's under 20. He seems to be playing a more simple, direct game. What have you come to appreciate about him this year?
Well, I think having the depth on D. Mizey's been, for me, one of our best all year. Consistency. He's like anybody. You're gonna have some tough stretches, but I think he's really consistent. He's a systems guy. When he knows what's going on around him, he's a really good player, and I think that's what he loves about footy. Our coaching staff is our system in place. He knows 85-90% of the time wherever he's going to be, and I think that really helps him.
You said that's really important because I asked him about yesterday was jumping up into play. Him and Z, was that part of the game, the temperature of the game? He said it's the confidence of knowing what to do in his own end is allowing him to move up confidently.
Yeah, I don't care how much pressure, or if it's Game 7 of Stanley Cup or it's first game of the year, you got to play the same way. You don't change because of the pressure, and I think that's what our team's learning is play the same way. You got to be creative, and that's that 15%. You might see something different, go for it. But 85% of the time, most of the time what we want you to do, and I think that's why Mizey's had a really good year for us.
3 games now for Archie.
Yeah.
I remember when I asked you in Seattle the other day, you said, the first one is the first one now, it's can he keep it at a level? In totality, 3 games, what do you think you've seen from him?
I'm a big fan. I like him a lot. I think there's another level, and that's when playing in the NHL. He's earned a spot right now. I don't know how long it's going to be. Maybe it's the rest of the year, but he's earned a spot. I know guys enjoy playing with him. I've had a couple of players come up to me individually and say, "Hey, don't be afraid to throw him on my line." So I think that's the ultimate compliment for that kid is, that a lot of players want to play with him, but he's also doing the little things, and that I love. Really good on the forecheck and handle the puck, and he's not scared. He gets inside.
Are you big on that? Because you could say, we might give a guy a cup of coffee, but we got a bigger thing here. We're trying to stay first overall. But you're more of a reward system, right? The guy deserves to be here. Play him regardless.
If he's earning a job, that's the internal competition, right? Listen. There was about 6-7 minutes left, and I put Teddy on the left side for some other reasons, and I told him today it wasn't him doing anything wrong. So sometimes like that, you put the veteran there in a situation, but if he's earning his job, he's going to be in the lineup. That's just the way it works. That's but we have other guys too. You got to give them some rope. Don't get me wrong. There is some history where a guy's played well for you, and maybe he's had a couple of games. You can't just all of a sudden put this guy behind. There's got to be a give and take. But for the most part, he's done a really nice job in those 3 games.
There was a time when you had Petey between Kuzmenko and Mikheyev, and they had a lot of chemistry. Like you had Mikheyev with Petey. Mikheyev was better yesterday. Are you seeing anything there in Mikheyev's game?
Yeah, I thought he was better last game. I really did. You know, he had that chance in front. You know, can he stay? We just needed him to use his speed. We needed a couple of loose pucks. You know, and the PK, he's got to be able to block some shots there. I think if he can stay consistent, you never know, right? But it's one game. He's got to raise his, and I don't know if he's going to stay there. I don't know, but I like the way that all the lines played. There was some good chemistry. I like the 4 centerman look we have. It's pretty damn good centerman look when you have it down there. So sometimes some players are going to have to rotate with other centermen. That's just the way the world we live in.
Rick, any chance that either of the injured guys join the group, the main group, for practice this week here?
Seuss and Dakota, they're not right now, but I mean, I don't know the exact date. I mean, it's getting close. But the good thing is, that you see them skating. It's going to really help when they come back, where they don't have to. If you have a knee injury, it takes you a lot longer. So with these guys, with their injuries, hopefully it's an easy transition.
I know it's a couple days off, but Sid's 36, playing like he's 26 and has 31 goals. What level of amazement do you have that he's still the engine that drives that team?
Well, I just remember we played him a month ago, and he was the best player on the ice. We actually played a good game, especially early on. But the third period, he cranked it up, and I'm like, I looked at footy and go, this guy's 36, and how many more years can he play? I mean, the way he's playing, he could play in his 40s. I mean, he takes care of himself. His hockey IQ is outstanding. And the one thing people understand, he doesn't cheat. He plays a 200-foot game. He doesn't cheat. If he wanted to, and I keep telling people this, he could have 20 more points a year, 100%. 100%.
Like, has Gensel made a career on the back door by being there, knowing that Sid's going to get up the puck?
I mean, I'm sure Gens is going to give his next contract a little percentage. But Gens is, I'll tell you what, talking about over the last years, the Marchand's a pressure player. He ranks up there in the playoffs. He's scored some big goals for that franchise in the last 6-7 years, big goals.
So are you in the mind that you could build it, if you're going to revamp Pittsburgh, you could build a team, have Sid come back and bring a young core up just because of his presence and his leadership?
Well, I mean,
he's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, he can play another 5 years at that level, I think. Okay. And so, there's ample opportunity for that team to turn things around.
Showed a lot of balls for our group today.
Seems like I think you have to spit all these.
Generational talent.
Thanks for liking the video and subscribing.